I don't hear people talking about don't let your highs get too low or high and your lows get too low. Stay even kill. You don't hear it. But when people don't hear it, they don't know any better. And you watch them and they're like, oh, I got this cell. Oh, no, my gosh, I'm ready to jump off the bridge. Right. Oh, and then you notice it and you say something, that small tweak and that small correction can help that person stay in the business. 100%. Because going down that road is not going to work. You're gonna eventually jump off the bridge. That's strong, man. And we need to spend more time, Mark, talking to people about this right here. Because mindset is everything.
Dude, that's so good that I think we're gonna stay here for a little. We're gonna camp. We're gonna build a fire here.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right, everybody, thank you for jumping on with us for our Tri-State Training Day podcast. I got my good friend, longtime buddy, Bryan Mendenhall with me today, board member of FFL Central, having a record year in 2022 and ready to rip 2023. Bryan, what's up, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Much love. Appreciate you having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. It's the last one of the year. You got me fired up. Let's go.
Well, listen, man, we somehow, some way, we make our way to a December podcast. But you know, last year we did the countdown. This year it's right before New Year's. So obviously we're in the mindset of, you know, wrapping up, putting a bow on this year, and you know, already projecting into 2023. But you know, as you look back on 2022, what were some key takeaways for you as an agency owner? As someone who empowers people every day?
I guess some of the biggest things I've taken away from this year, Mark, is that the best is yet to come, and we're attracting the right people.
I like that.
And in order to attract the right people, you need to be the right person. So I'm always working on myself now to be a better version of myself every day. And I got to say, I took some time off. Well, not really off, just I wasn't working on all cylinders. And that was towards the beginning of the year. And I realized and I saw the momentum slow down when I did that. Because I'm always transparent. I keep it real, right?
Yep.
And I just noticed the difference when I put my foot back on the pedal. I can notice things start to change. People start to look at you different. People start to feel that energy. And they start coming back around to watch you burn. Remember that? Setting yourself on fire and they come and watch you burn.
Yes, sir.
Like, for example, last week, I mean, if you go by FTC standards, I protected, like, what was it, 15 families or so, you know? I put money in my account, which is cool, but it motivates people. They get to see you on the phone. They get to see you working. And I'm talking to more people than ever, recruiting more people than ever. Like, I'm back in the mix, man. Like, when we did the integrity call, and I talked about I have my CEO hat on. Well, I took the CEO hat off, and I'm back in the trenches, man. And it feels great. It feels good to get a little dirty, you know.
Feels good to get a little dirty. I like it. Yeah, man. It makes all the sense in the world to me that, you know, the great emotions are where the action is. You know what I'm saying? Being in the mix of action, you know. So, you know, when did you get the revelation, if you will, that you wanted to stay in the mix of action?
I mean, literally just a couple months ago. And if you know anything about momentum, Mark, it's not like you just flip the switch and momentum's back. It don't work like that, unfortunately. So it's normally, you know, you're priming the pump. And as you prime the pump, you start to see the fruits of your labor. And now we're just starting to see some of it. But like I said, the best is yet to come.
Right.
I got a lot of good groups that work with me. Like Mark and his whole team are killing it. You know, he's got Gabe and Omar and all these guys that are just on fire. And they're just starting to really catch on fire as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I got guys like Will Lang. He's really stepping up, man. I'm looking at over the last 4 weeks what this guy did. He's helped 11 families 1 week, 11 families the week before, 15 the week before, 11 the week before. He's on a roll.
Nice.
And when we can bring more people to see that it's normal to win. It's okay to win. More people are seeing that, and that's going to be more of the norm coming into 2023. And I'll see to it.
I love it. Now, when you say you're talking to more people than ever, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? What are the types of conversations that you're having to make sure that your business is going in an upward trajectory?
So a lot of the people that I'm talking to, they're either brand new agents or either, agents that have been around a little bit but kind of lost their way. I've heard people say they don't even spend time with those people. I do, because I always think about John Wetmore. He sucked. And he even quit the business. He sucked so bad. And somebody didn't quit on him, and then he turned into John Wetmore, which we would have never met him or known him.
Right.
So, I spend time with some of those people, talking to them about investing in themselves, spending money on leads, treating their business like a business, not, spending whatever time they want on it, knowing that you can do this business part-time, full-time, but you can't do it sometimes. I'm talking to people like that. And then a lot of the other conversations are, honestly, I'm a recruiter now. I'm recruiting.
Right. Makes sense.
Where, I had my CEO hat on before, where I wasn't really talking to recruits. I had recruiters only talking to recruits. And I do believe in recruiters, Mark, because I know you have a whole system together, which we're working on the infrastructure to build a system like what you have. But right now, I know there's nobody better in my group or in my agency that can talk to new people coming through the door about getting started in my company better than me.
Period.
Nobody believes it more than me. Nobody's hit 7 figures that works directly for me that can tell other people it's possible for them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
100%. So,
Those,
go ahead.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I was going to say, that's what the conversation looked like. And the people that are, maybe going through a little bit of a hard time, is finding out what are they going through a hard time for?
Right.
Are they on the treadmill or the hamster wheel where they're in their head and they're riding a roller coaster? I've talked to so many people, Mark, that forget what was the norm for us, and we talked about all the time. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this business being a roller coaster ride anymore.
Right.
I don't hear it.
Right.
I don't hear people talking about don't let your highs get too low or high and your lows get too low. Stay even kill. You don't hear it. But when people don't hear it, they don't know any better. And you watch them and they're like, oh, I got this. Oh, no, my gosh, I'm ready to jump off a bridge. Right. Oh, and then you notice it and you say something. That small tweak and that small correction can help that person stay in the business.
100%.
Because going down that road is not going to work. You're gonna eventually jump off the bridge. And jumping off the bridge is what? Not going to conference. Jumping off the bridge is not watching the training days, not jumping on the team calls, not being in the chat because people are winning and you don't want to see that crap because you're not winning. Jumping out, it's basically quitting the business, and you quit yourself because you let yourself be on that roller coaster. That's strong, man. And we need to spend more time, Mark, talking to people about this right here, because mindset is everything.
Dude, that's so good that I think we're going to stay here for a little. We're going to camp. We're going to build a fire here. Because you're right, man. I want to know why you think people aren't talking about it right now. Because that's all we talked about every day, right? Trying to keep people alive. Why do you think, let's start there. Why do you think people aren't talking about that?
If I think about that, Mark, in all honesty, I know why. Here you go. Here it is. It's got too good for a lot of people. A lot of people forgot what it's like to be in that position. See, back then we talked about it all the time because guess what? We was fighting to survive, yo. We was trying to live. And it was like, yo, I'm not dying. If I let up, I'm going to die. Bro, when you're not, this is real. You said you want to be real, right? This is training day. This training day, bro. We were fighting to survive, Mark. We were fighting to survive.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people are not fighting to survive anymore.
Mm.
A lot of people forget what it's like to have to smoke a freaking battle on you. A lot of people forgot what it's like to get your eye black, to get your teeth kicked in, to be on that phone and go through the hard times. I still remember what that's like because I'm doing it a little bit now and I'm getting beat the heck up. And it feels good. It's weird, but it feels good because then I can get back in the trench and be like, hey, I know what you're going through.
Right.
I know what you're dealing with. I'm here with you. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. Smoke of battle. The smoke of battle. So now you're back helping families. Are you via the phone, telesales, or Zoom?
So it's been over the phone.
Okay.
It's been a little bit of a different challenge, but it's fun. Like I said, I did right around 15 last week, so that doesn't suck. It feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like when I get on the roll, man, I get on the roll. I realize it's not that much different than actually being in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, you remember this? You remember with recruiting, and it was Sean would tell me, and you would tell me too, about recruiting. You'd be like, hey man, why don't you recruit? And I'm like, oh man, I'm just not good at that. I'm good at sales. And you're like, it's the same thing. What are you talking about? It's essentially the same thing over the phone or in the home. I do have to change some tonality. Some things I maybe can't say the same way. I might get hung up on, but for the most part, like it's just learning. It's a learning curve that I'm still going through, but I think anybody could do it if they set their mind to it. You know what I mean? But I am doing over the phone, and I was doing it on purpose because I want to learn how to scale. I would like to learn how to scale this because it's an unlimited opportunity. There's people everywhere 100%. That would love to work from the comfort of their own home to freaking, make whatever it is that we would be able to help them with, That's just a game changer.
No doubt. And, tying this back, so there's a couple of things, tying this back in with mindset, but the fact that, you're going back in the trenches to learn how to lead a little bit differently and then, again, scale it to bring a bunch of people with you and kind of obliterate excuses, erase, people's negative thought processes and try to help them build up without the excuse of and just your ability to be fluid with the telesales process because a lot of the business has moved into that direction. So, number one, that's real leadership. The fact that you're going back into the battle, if you will. Get that experience, that smoke a battle on you. Doesn't suck to make some money while you're doing it. And, but you're now, again, able to reach people from a mental state or mental place that allows them to be uplifted because you're going through what they're going through. What has it been like with the feedback of Bryan Mendenhall now taking live fire from on the phones to meet with people to do the same thing, get hung up on, make some sales, have awkward pauses, interruptions, and just being able to just say, hey, I'm just like y'all. We going through the same thing. What has that feedback been like?
I think some of the biggest feedback is some people never realize that, some people think that you, me, a lot of the top leaders and people that made it to the top are like superheroes or like we're superhuman, like we're not normal. Yeah, I get hung up on too.
Right.
People who still tell me no. Like, right. I still make a bunch of calls and sometimes they don't pick up. Like, I think the biggest epiphany for people is like, wow, this happens to other people too, And I never wanted to be the guy to tell somebody to do something and I've never done it. Mm-hmm. Like I want to get in there and at least try it. So now like I can actually say, hey, it does work, but these are the things that you're going to have to do. You know what I mean? But it's nothing like somebody saying like, man, really? And you see the light bulb go off and they say, this happens to everybody, not just me. That's a game changer. That's when they realize like, if anybody can do it, well, basically anybody can do it. And if I can suck on the phone, if I can get beat up, if they can tell me no and still come out of all adversity of them telling me no, not doing the policy, hanging up on me, and still being able to help families, then they can do it too. Mark, I still need to run an agency.
Right.
I still got a lot of stuff going on.
Right. I
still got podcasts to record, content to I got a lot going on. But I don't make excuses.
Right.
And now they can't make excuses either. That's a different ball game.
Definitely a different ball game. And that's, again, when we start thinking about now 2023 and the things you're picking up and learning, the momentum your team has right now, you know, what are some of these changes that you've made? How do they project into 2023?
Well, some of the changes that we made, and these are things that we've done, I would say, a horrible job with in 2022. One is the warm market list. We haven't capitalized on them. So I know that if we do that alone, it's a game changer. I mean, I know it'll be a game changer. Mm-hmm. Working off of people's warm market list, asking them who they know that, you know, might be open to making some extra money. That's going to give us hundreds of other agencies. More importantly, that's where we're going to find our leaders.
Oh, no doubt.
We're going to go through and down in depth, we're going to find leaders. And right now I'm looking for leaders, man. I'm looking for 5-6 leaders that I could build up and show how to build an army. That's one thing. The next thing, man, is just really pouring into people more than I ever have. Because Mark, like I'm about to be 42. Okay. Now's the time. Like we really need to figure this thing out. And I'm trying to get everything together. So not only we can get this integrity thing knocked out, but I'm looking at how many other people we could bring with me. It's not something that I've been screaming about as much as I was. And I need to get back to it because more people need to know I'm going to walk through that door and I want to know who wants to come with me.
Amen.
So that's going to be a push for 2023. Finding leaders, helping develop leaders, showing people that there's another way that they can actually get to where they want to be. And it's through the insurance industry. Mark, my biggest agency hasn't even started yet. They haven't been hired yet.
Love it.
My biggest leader hasn't been hired yet. Yes, that means somebody's going to come in and somebody's going to turn it upside down. I haven't found them yet. But guess what? Somebody's out there. And when they find out about this opportunity, they're going to go nuts. That's what I'm looking for. And that's what I'm going to do in 2023. And I'm not just going to find one. I'm going to find a bunch of them. I'm speaking this into existence, okay?
Amen. I love it. That's so strong. Annual convention right around the corner. Talk to us about your thoughts on an event like that and how important it is for people to get there.
So, Mark, I've been in the industry now 12 years, going on 13 years. Sounds crazy, right? This will be finishing up my 12th. And I've never missed an annual event, conference, a practice company even. They've never been as good as what they are now. But at every single one, I've always walked away with some nuggets that changed my entire business. Bottom line is it's always been a game changer for me, Mark. And the reason being, this business is not complicated. What we do is very simple, okay? We do like 3 main things, right? But there's so many ways to deliver it. People have different ways that they can hear it. People have different people that they relate to. And more importantly, you're always at a different place in your business and in your life, so you hear things differently. Mark, I've heard people say something and it's been like, my mind just goes, and I'll say something to you or to Sean or somebody, and they're like, yeah, we've been saying that forever. And I'm like, well, I never heard it like that, though.
Right.
This is different. And no, it's not. It's the same. I'm different. I'm at a different place.
Nice.
So I know that going to this event, I don't even know what I'm about to get. I know I'm going there ready to receive.
Right.
And I'm ready to go there and get as much as I possibly can get. But Mark, I'm not the same person I was last year. So I'm going to get something new. I'm going to get something different out of it. And I always go back to Omar. I'm sorry, I have to go back to Omar every time. Omar Mitchell last year was doing like 50 families protected for the month for his group going into conference. He walked out of conference like mind blown, boom, comes home, office, staff. All that was from him going and making the decision and saying, this is the real deal.
Right.
He saw what it was. Without going to this event, you don't actually see what it is. And more importantly, if you call yourself actually doing this part-time, full-time, whatever it is, and you call yourself working this business and trying to be successful and not getting to the event that everybody's at to give you all the information they have to help you be successful, you're not serious. You're not serious. And I'm really afraid for you. I'm afraid for you because if you're willing to make the sacrifice to not be, hear what I said, the sacrifice to not be there,
Oof.
you're probably not going to be in the business.
Oof.
You probably won't make it. I'm allowed to be real, right, Mark?
Yeah.
You don't go to this event, you probably won't be here a year from now, 6 months from now. Get there. I'm trying to I will have over 600 people there. Right now, we probably have 275, between 275 and 290. And we got another 300 plus people to get there. And I got a little bit of time to do it. Everybody I'm talking to, if I'm signing them up for class, they get this is a nugget. If I'm signing them up for class, they get the registration, that they sign up for the registration before they even get to class, okay? They're contracting, before they even contract, they're getting a class. That's how these numbers are going to shoot through the roof. We're going to have over 600 people there.
That's strong, bro. That's so strong. I love it. You know, when you said something that made me just almost hit the floor. You said, I heard that before. We've been saying that forever. You say, it's not different. I'm different. Like, the amount of times I've read a scripture, and I've read the same scripture, and I've read the same scripture, and one day it just jumps off the page and just puts me in a chokehold because I'm at a different place. So I'm receiving the information differently. It is the same information. I'm able to ascertain and use the information differently. I don't think I've heard that before, Bryan, as it pertains to annual convention. And that's so poignant and so descriptive that you have to go no matter what because you're always growing and the information is going to be hitting you differently, which is just insane. That's the dedication to education. You said something else, to make the sacrifice not to go. What? What sacrifice did you make not to go? What? Like, yo, that's crazy to me. The fact that people could head fake, could come up with all these reasons or excuses not to go. It's almost easier just to go.
Correct.
But you're making a sacrifice one way or the other. You're either making a sacrifice to go and grow or a sacrifice not to go and grow. Oof. I don't know which one. I don't know how I could look at myself on the other side of that. Bro, yeah. That's crazy.
I'm fired up, man. I'm ready for the event right now. I just need 320 more people.
No doubt, yo. Listen, man, it's an honor and a pleasure. to call you friend. I mean, you're a legend in this business. The information that you have up there, you forgot more than you know. I know 2023 is going to be a smashing year for y'all. Y'all had a great 2022, growing new leaders, revamping, making changes, and I'm excited for what's to come, and I'm excited for the stuff that you shared on this podcast. That stuff was transformative, my man. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. It's always a pleasure, man.
All right, everybody, keep listening. Training Day. One of the best to do it, Bryan Mendenhall, dropping jewels like he does. God bless y'all. Take care. Thanks, Bryan.